When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
We really gotta stop, like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. This is a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
Mercy on you, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God that is real. Cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we back by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething and wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just receive the listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
We really gotta stop, like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride. Just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
Mercy, mercy on you, mercy, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Yisrael, cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we backed by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just proceed to listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise, yeah. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. This is a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
Mercy, mercy on you, mercy, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Yisrael, cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They rob living still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we back by the most high, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is exceedingly wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just proceed to listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see?
On Facebook, Shalom YouTube, welcome to our Prophecy Place. Today we're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 30. That's where we're going to start at verse 8. So before we get started, does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I have a question about Psalm 55 your prayer yesterday.
Psalm 55.
Yes, Psalm 55, turn to Psalm 6, verse.
That was similar, that's I mentioned to you early last week.
Right. But when you read it, right after it says Selah, I think it's verse 30, verse 20, and verse 21. Is that he jumped into prophecy and was talking about the man that's gonna say he's God in the temple, the false prophet or whatever. I don't know if the false prophet, but one man says he's God. That's because it speaks similar to like Daniel in verse 20 and 21. He jumped into prophecy at that point right there, and it's talking about the man that's gonna call himself.
Who's he referring to?
I'm saying, I'm asking, is he referring to the man that's gonna be in the temple that says I'm God in that time?
It sounds more like he's referring to Judas Iscariot.
In verse 20 and 21.
20 and 21. Yeah, because he's part of the 12, so he's close to it. Let's say, put forth his hands against such as be at peace with them. He have broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war within his heart, words softer than all. Yet were they drawn swords. Now,
That sounds like more like the man, right? Like that what Daniel said. Like
what Daniel said.
Verse 21 is kind of like what he said in Daniel, the man that come speaking peace, but he's in war. In Daniel, I think it's
What chapter?
I think it's Daniel 11. I think.
Oh, you're talking about King.
Right. I think it's Daniel.
By flatteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Daniel chapter 8?
Might be one of it's Daniel. One. I can't.
So they kind of saying the same thing.
All right.
Chapter 11, what verse?
Let me see. All right.
I think you might be referring to
Chapter 8.
chapter 8.
I think I might be. Let me see.
Yeah, you got that fan on you.
No, I thought it was gonna be on me, but it's not. Why?
Somebody move it over, put it on you, could blow right on me.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you, hey, yourself. Why don't you take that fan and put it down on the floor?
Yeah.
Right go this way, bro, and go back toward
That's all. You all right, man?
Oh, yeah.
Did you find it? You know, bless.
I'm reading chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
It's verse 25. It said peace. It's not talking about his word. So I think it might be 11.
Are you referring to maybe 23 to 25? What about verse 11 to 14? I didn't either.
I know it says you go speak flattery is when people is tell me something about flatteries and
Let me see here.
flattery. I think is one of the words.
That's the key word.
I think so. I think flattery is the key word.
You think that got you?
No, never first flattery. Something.
He talking what? He talking about 11, Daniel 11:21.
Let's see here. I was just in Daniel 11.
Well, that's flattery right there. I think that's it.
That one, 11 verse 21.
Let's see.
So this man, sons. You too? Not a face. Facebook is
That's cool. I think that might be it.
11 to 21. Okay, well, all through chapter 11, we talk about the takeover of Greek Empire from Medo Persian.
Right.
And it's over the different kings that came to reign over the empire when it was split up. And Alexander the Great, 4 generals. And these are their descendants. They even got Cleopatra up in here. Uh, did you know there was several Cleopatras?
Yes. Yes. The one of
Yeah. Now, it's easy to think that this is talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, the fourth, but that's more relevant to chapter verse 36 all the way to the end of that chapter. This is an version of something similar. What he's doing here is something similar that's going to happen in the future. So this is prophesying about the one world order and that king that's going to rule over all nations and especially over Jerusalem. Now, according to Daniel chapter 11, I'll pick this up. Let's see here. In verse 25, it says that he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army, and the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a great, very great and mighty army, but he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, his army shall overthrow, and many shall fall down, slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper, but yet the end shall be at the time appointed. Then shall he return to his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against a holy covenant, and he shall do exploits and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return to come toward the south, but he shall not be as the former or as the latter. So when the south is something like Egypt, and he's going to try to conquer Egypt. But it says in verse 30, but for the ships of Chittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant, so shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. Now the ships of Chittim, the ships of Greece, actually the Roman Empire coming on the scene. Right? So they basically taking over for the Greek Empire. What a war between Greek Empire and Roman Empire. This came in and took over. Now he's talking about those people that join him in the destruction of the ways of the Jews. forbidden circumcision and forbidden reading the Torah. And so this is what's happening. Now this is going to kick off the Maccabean Wars, right? So it says here, verse 31, all shall stand on this part, they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, they shall take away the daily sacrifice, they shall place an abomination that make it desolate, you know, that sap, you know, and it's sacrifice, they force the sacrifice. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries, boom. But the people that do know them, Elohim shall be strong and do exploits, and they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be helped with a little help, but many shall plead to them with flattery, there it is again. And some of them of understanding shall fall to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. So that will be the future. That'll be talking about our time. In verse 36 to verse 45, it's talking about that one world order. That the Pope's going to be ruling over, called the king here. That he's going to act like a king, actually.
So in verse 21, in Psalm 55, that kind of describe that.
Verse 21,
Yeah, in Psalm
chapter
55.
9, verse 21.
No,
Chapter
Psalm
8,
55, Psalm 55, verse 20.
verse 25.
That kind of describe that a little bit, you think? Verse 21 and 55. Psalm 55 and verse 21.
Psalm 55, verse 21.
You think that kind of describe that a little bit?
About this here.
Right.
Actually, in Psalm, this, what we have here in Daniel is an overview of the common world order, right? Well, in Psalm 55, it's something personal. But now somebody he thought he could trust. And trust them, they betrayed him. Right? So they're two different animals here.
Cause like tone switches when you get to verse 21 and 20, and when you get to verse 21 and 22, I mean the tone kind of switches a little bit.
Sounds like a what?
Like his tone kind of switches like you know, he's talking about people doing something to him, then it switches like, you know, like I don't know, it just put me in the mind of Daniel for some reason, verse 21. I don't know. No, I might be wrong with this.
Look down again. Verse 20, he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than butter. Yet when they draw a sword, so you want to compare that to Daniel?
It kind of puts me in the mind of that a little bit. That's kind of wrong. Am I wrong?
Well, if you want to put the mechanism of what is going on here from being a personal thing
Right.
to a prophetic thing, yeah, it's got the same path, right? But they're still talking about two different things.
So it's kind of that's more personal.
Yeah, well, you're gonna see patterns all through the scriptures. Some sound like they talk about the same thing. But we've got to be careful how we compare with something that's personal, this something that's prophetic. But this is one-on-one here, chapter 55. And Daniel's talking about something going to happen in the future, and the reason why it's going to happen. All right, so yeah, verse 20, 21 is like he's talking with flattery. He's right about that. But the flattery we read about here in Daniel is talking about that king is going to deceive people with his flatteries. He's going to be deceiving the holy people. Right? So, yeah, when you talk about deception with flatteries, yeah, they talk about the same thing.
So even 825, that's something that don't
825.
that doesn't fit even yeah. 825. Daniel.
Psalm
Daniel chapter 825.
of Daniel 825. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Now, look at what he's saying here in verse in verse 25, it says, and through his policy. Well, you look up that word policy, it's talking about his understanding and his wisdom. All right, that's the word policy means. He also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. So that craft would be treachery. So you look those words up, then you combine what it because these translated words, right? That's why they have you look these words up, see what is he really talking about. So he's deceiving the people what he's saying here. And that king that's gonna be over that one rule order, he's gonna have the support of the whole earth, except for the children of Israel. Yeah, he's gonna make war with saints. Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Again, we are in the Isaiah chapter 8. And I'm not going to pick this up at verse 1, because again, that's more of a story. But
That's Isaiah chapter 8.
Chapter 30.
Chapter 30, what did I say?
8.
Thanks for that. Chapter 30 and verse 8. I'm going to read the rest of that chapter, because that's more prophetic. But verse 8 to verse 11, that's not really prophetic, but it is pertaining to our time. We read these words, we see the same thing happening now, right? Somehow they got put out there that we don't have to keep Yahweh's law, right? So they feel justified in not keeping the law. But that's nothing new. Goes back to these days, they said the same thing they said, and the only difference is the excuse that they use. Right here, but let's go ahead and read it first. Go ahead, verse 7. Read verse 8 to verse 11.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
Isn't that the same thing saying now? Because that's Christianity telling them we don't want to hear the law, right? We don't want to read the prophets. So they don't bother trying to study them. Because they say, oh, that's never fulfilled. But that's what white folks told them. Now, white folks know who we are. They can't afford us to know what the book is saying. Because might get big ideas. Hey, man, we chosen people. So that means we got to keep this law. Well, it wasn't Yahweh's will that they did it at that time. They wanted them to go along with the game so they could survive being Christians. So now, in these days and time, Yahweh showing us, read these words again. Because Christians will not read these words. You'll never hear this word in these words in a Christian church. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit Christianity. Yeah.
So is that part of the reason why they took Maccabees out? Because Maccabees it makes sense, it fits. But the Maccabees, you have a mind to stand up and fight back. You know what I mean? You get against your oppressors. So they definitely don't want even white Christians that couldn't read, they trick, you know what I mean, as well, and get Christianity to stand up and fight back for their rights. And Maccabees put you in a sense of, oh, you fight back against it. This ain't right, you know what I mean? This ain't gonna believe, you're gonna fight against it. You know what I mean? They took that out for just the simple fact that you won't stand up against them. You won't have that, you won't have the Bible to help you, the spirit to say, okay, it's in the Bible. We can stand up and fight against this. You know what I mean? Instead, you just keep bowing down.
Who took them out?
Catholic Church.
Right.
Right.
So therefore we came over here slave.
Right.
Right. So it's already gone before we got it. But nevertheless, the whole book doesn't have anything to do with Christianity. But they don't want to force that on the slaves because they know the slaves could read.
Right.
And that's all the slaves knew. That's what the white man taught them. what we got here now. Y'all would pour the spirit out on America, letting the people know, read this book, because all it's all about you. You got nothing to do with Christianity whatsoever. And this actually points to Christianity, verse 8 to verse 11, because they say the same words today. The justification is that they're Christians, so they're not on the law, they're under grace. All kinds of things that they hear Paul saying. Now, I understand that Paul was a Pharisee, and Paul knew the law. So why would he say that the law been done away with, him being a Pharisee? But what they came to agreement in Acts chapter 15 about the Gentiles, they didn't have to get circumcised. All they had to do was stay away from idols and blood, food to strangle,
No, he said they have
and
to keep Sabbath.
fornication.
Right, no, he said they have to keep Sabbath.
That's all they had to do, right? They don't even do that. So black people see them, yeah, y'all ain't doing nothing. Look, so and y'all got all the goodies. So we want them goodies too, so we're gonna copy everything y'all do. And so yeah, they get goodies too. But then Satan tempted Mashiach, say, all this has been given unto me, and I give it to whom I will, and I give it to you if you fall down and worship me. All shall be yours, fall down and worship me, right? Well, that's what happened with Christians. They're worshiping Satan, and they're getting rewarded for Satan, for worshiping Satan. We got Kenneth Cole got his own airport at his house. And that's a Christian. But some people been starting to look at him and say, this man don't look like he raptured right. The way he act, but got that money. You look at Creflo, there was somebody come to town, they got to go see Creflo. So these are big time Christians, prosperity preachers. And that's what the desperate people want to hear, how to make money. So what it shows is black people have always been a desperate people. And they will always be a desperate people. Not content with what they already had. But that desperation did not come until they tried to integrate. They saw how the white folks went. Said, we want that too. We'll do anything to be like y'all white people. Here we go. But that had to happen too, so we can look at this and say, hey, that's y'all. Y'all doing this. So Yahweh didn't show this book to everybody. He's only showing it to a select few. So we are of that select few. And I don't recall even any other Hebrew Israelites reading this either. Have y'all heard them? Read
Nope.
about this? Talk about it on Facebook or YouTube.
What's that?
These verses we just read here about them not wanting to keep the law.
Nah, they mostly just on the corner just acting up.
Huh?
I said, nah, they mostly on the corner just acting up. They say a few verses and that's about it.
Yeah, you kind of wonder what's going on with these Christian churches, man. We got sodomite Christian pastors. So let that
Clergy in the church.
all right.
I tell you all the time, it's a spirit of perversion in churches. The churches have a spirit of perversion, and
Yeah,
it's getting worse and worse.
yeah, they got, I guess it goes to that doctrine that God loves everybody. So yeah, and that come as you are.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's come from the flesh, come from the spirit. You're not gonna know anything about the spirit unless you read about the spirit in the book. But the book wasn't written about ordinary men. It was extraordinary men. And you can see Yahweh working through these men, putting these words down. Then Yahweh observe these words and stutter, stammering lips in another tongue. So we can understand it because he knew that one day we wouldn't speak Hebrew no more. Here we are, not knowing that we're Hebrews. Now we read the white man's language, and we can see that, yeah, this is us. This is us. Even though it's in another language, it's still us. Deuteronomy 28, that's us. All the curses, that's us. Right? So praise God that he chose a remnant to understand these words so we can govern ourselves accordingly. Because we don't want to end up like our father did.
You know, Elder, just like you say, you got Copeland and these mega preachers that has all these shiny things, but it says what the Jew require a sign, the Greek seek knowledge. So we look at something. I go back to like growing up in Detroit. You look at the drug dealers and all that. They got the big stuff, and you're like, man, they doing well. They doing wrong. Same thing with Christianity. You look at the shiny things they have, and they think, oh, God is blessing them, but they worship Satan indirectly.
That's how good Satan is.
Mhm. So yes, we look at things
Yeah.
and attribute that to success.
But Christianity appeals to the emotions. Just read this book and go. Right? So you can't get emotional reading words. So that preacher got to be someone that can rile the people up, get them screaming and hollering. He's pep rally. And that's what the people look for. Something to make them feel lifted up and uh, something that makes them think that this is all right. This is what God wants us to do. So they feel good about what they do, but it's not going to look. I mean, it was like that during the time of Paul. Remember what Paul said in Romans chapter 10? Said, I wish that all Israel should be saved, for they have a zeal of Elohim, but not according to knowledge. Right? So say the same thing about black people here, black Christians. They got a zeal of God, but they have no knowledge. So what are you doing? You don't even know nothing about your God. Only thing you know is what the white man taught you. So you want to feel like let white folks see you. You're so enthusiastic about their God that they can show white people how to be Christians. Who else does that? Those are Yahweh's people. So it's evident. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my cousin, well, not I call him because we old high school friend. He called me. They just check on me, and we got to talking. We wound up talking about the church he goes to, and his pastor. You know what I mean? And he said he was talking about it because he seen something online talking about the Bible there. So we got the conversation, and he was like, as we was talking, he was like, man, pastor, he just teach about economics and how to make money, and just how to deal with life. You know what I mean? But he's not teaching us nothing about the Bible. Like, they go to church and learn how to, make money. He's like, he go to church and they're teaching the business skills and this and this and that but it's nothing about learning it out the book. You know what I mean? So it's like
All they do is preach that prosperity doctrine.
prosperity and teaching that and really give them ideas and teach them how to go about making money and economics and finances, whatever, teach them about finance and business and coping skills with life. You know what I mean? Kind of like
That's a church.
Kind of like it's a church. You go to church and you're gonna be entertaining. You know what I mean? His wife like to go there because they get in and get out. Cause I'm like, it's business. I ain't teaching about this because it's business. They got the first service, second service, third service, and everybody got to be out. You know what I mean? So they're like, you catch the spirit, he ain't gonna be able to talk because he got to get everybody out for the next service. So he can collect them ties. You got them ties and things like that. You know what I mean? But the business of it, he was seeing that this is a business, but that's all they talk about in the church is business. Or just, a little counseling, a little psychiatry, social skills, how to deal with this and deal with that, but it's nothing about the book. They're not learning anything about
They do this, talk about this during church service.
doing the service. They're not talking about they're not learning nothing about the Bible. And he just wrote down and said, no, I'm not learning nothing about the Bible. I'm learning, social skills and how to cope with this, and also I'm learning business and finances, but I'm not learning nothing about the Bible. You know what I mean? And, he's like, man, but my wife, like I told you, got to count the cost, like, is that worth your family? I know your family wife, your wife loves it. She get in, get out, you know what I mean? And daughter love going, but you're not learning anything. You know what I mean? You're not learning anything about the Bible. You know what I mean? So
they don't care.
Okay, thing his wife, father, she can say court, but his wife's father is a Hebrew Israelite. You know what I mean? So she know. You know what I mean? So that's how we people will talk. Our father people like.
Are you saying that this Hebrew Israelite, the preaching?
No. It's the preacher, but the daughter like going to this particular church. But the daughter's father is a Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah, and what does he do?
He's in New York. He's a Hebrew Israelite up there in New York. He got his own. He'll be part of the capital.
So he ain't part of that prosperity.
No, he's not part of the church at all.
All he is though.
Church, they down here.
Okay.
They stay by flat shows. So.
He lose up. Yeah. Well, again, we're just not learning who we are. And so if you've got family members that you've been Christian all your life, teaching them how to be a good Christian. All of a sudden you change, well, that's gonna throw them off. They're tripping off. Because they've been Christian, they don't know about Christianity, and all of a sudden you change, they ain't gonna bother you.
Right.
Because they've been wired in.
And they grown, you know what I mean? So we
Yeah. Same thing how with Elder Simeon. And it's children, uh, not Elder Simeon, but Brother Cooley. And telling his son one thing, but all of a sudden he heard the truth. And he tried to tell his son, we supposed to be doing it this way, but his son will come around. So he teach him about Christianity all his life. And he can't stop. But all you do is talk to them, but they don't follow instructions. Can you blame him for it? I mean, can you say that it's Cooney's fault? Especially when Cooney, all of a sudden Cooney hears the truth and knows this is the truth and want to learn more, right? But his son is already wired in Christianity. So is he at fault?
Oh. Even before he was baptized, he didn't know no better. I mean,
I know.
it's his direction. He did it, but it's not necessarily his fault because he didn't know no better. You know what I mean?
So what's going to happen to his son?
Hopefully, pray for
He's
might
going to
come
face the
home.
same judgment that the rest of the Christians got to face. Yeah, but at least his father tried.
That's right.
He want to disobey his father, and nothing he can do about it. Man, wrong. I think he's in the service, eh? Cooney's son.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's in the service. So yeah, he see Yahweh wanted Cooney to hear this, but he didn't want his son to hear. Same thing with me and my family. Yahweh wanted me to hear this word, but he didn't want my father and my brother to hear it. So they died before I heard this word.
Then with the internet, they pushing the more militant camps. Because what you see is the more militant camps. They marching. They this the more the militant camps. And you talk to something like I was at Walgreens, and the guy I guess he looked at me. He was talking to a lady, but I was trying to go something like, "Well, you didn't want to serve me or something like, was you a black Hebrew Israelite?" I said, "No, I'm a Jew." No, I'm a Jew. Black is a color. Hebrews, that's a nation of people. Black is a color, not a color. We're people. You know what I mean? But in their minds, it's like black people like violent. That's what's being pushed. You know what I mean? And then the other names being pushed by white people who know better. You know what I mean? That's being pushed. And so it's like that's all they see. And if you're a Christian and you docile and you peaceful and you want to be peaceful, you don't have nothing to do with all that military violence. I'm not trying to join the army.
We can't be some scary people.
Right.
It was a video. The Purple Gang. Two of them got into a fight.
That was IUIC and IUPK
Yeah,
on the street corner.
yeah, they got into a fight with each other.
I saw that. Yeah,
Man,
it's a sad thing to see, man.
it's,
You see
it's
that, Steve?
No, I didn't see it.
They was on the corner.
yeah, that was
Both of them not at the same time. It's, I guess one of them shot at the other. All of a sudden, big fight broke out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And then like brother Bless was saying, I seen this week I was going, seeing the little shorts, like 5 videos of those. They pushing those guys um on the internet and not pushing the positive. The Israelite.
Yeah.
They doing that on purpose, yo.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
And then you got people in prison that's following NCCI. They follow NCCI. I know brothers follow NCCI. But when they get out, they going towards IUIC because they're big. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I guess they're more military. You see them marches they're like hundreds of them.
Yeah.
They march like they're in the military. They shields and just different things they got going on. You know what I mean? But you coming out and they actually following you down road. They go both because both from internet, but then when they get out, they're going towards IOC because of the numbers and the
Yeah.
and it's just it's more comfortable because you coming this truth, the numbers. So it's just
For the uninitiated, that is impressive
right.
because you haven't seen black people come together like that in years.
Right.
So all of a sudden, you got a whole bunch of brothers dressed the same way, basically marching in lockstep with each other. For the uninitiated, they were going to call that too.
Right.
But I don't know what their doctrine is.
I mean,
I know they
they
call
believe
it
in keeping
JC.
they believe in keeping the law. Still, they definitely preach keeping the law.
They get it.
They definitely preach keeping the law. You know, the holy days are 2 weeks off ark. They do everything on the full moon, but they definitely preach keeping the law. You know, they don't celebrate birthdays. You know, pretty much the same thing, except they still use JC, and they do it.
Yeah.
And they do the holy days off in the new moon, off the full moon. You know, but you know, women should wear dresses.
The full moon is a new month.
They do everything on the full moon. So when we do
That's
our
the beginning of the month, right?
right. So they just all their holidays are 2 weeks after ours. You know what I mean? Because it's off the full moon.
So they keeping the holidays, right?
They keep the holidays. Keep the holidays.
Maybe not according to the book, but at least they doing it.
They do it.
Some,
Yes, they doing it.
some Israelites don't even do that.
So, right. They definitely keep the holidays and new moon, but they do it off the full moon. But that's 2 weeks after ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have big. They go out of state, camp around somewhere. You know what I mean? And the women be separate from the men. You know, and they be all in their long dresses. They be wearing dresses. They keep doing the same thing, but they just use JC. And if they tack it, the way they come across is totally different.
What makes them different from the scribes and Pharisees, and Sadducees, and Herodians, and the Zealots? So these are sects of Jews. So we got the same thing going on
I
here.
was gonna say, yeah, they fall in line with that.
Yeah, so we got different doctrine, right?
And they attack
Like they
churches.
had different doctrine back in the day. And they had their followers. Our doctrine not like their doctrine. But we make sure our God's about what's reading the book. Now they go about what they think is right in verification, so they're doing it right. But they've been doing it so long that they can't change. Even we show them what they're saying, they can't change. That means they've been taught wrong. They've been teaching them the wrong thing. They have never admitted that. Right? But this book here corrects us. We don't need anybody to correct us. We look at the book, and if they can show us something in here that says you're not doing what the book says, then we'll go along with the book. But we study the book thoroughly, especially when it comes to the holy days, so that our accuracy of the holy days is reflected in the yearly calendar. Because Esau got them same holy days up there, and we always a day or two within each other. So if they're doing it that way, we're doing it our way, then they're counting the new moon as something that you can't see, same as us. But they're talking about the new moon being the beginning of a month. So then you got are those the same people that have the movable Sabbath?
No, they
They don't have that?
They don't have
Okay, you got the group that have movable Sabbath. So you got different kinds of sects even here in America. But as I mentioned before, this is Yahweh doing. Because we can't be seen as a monolithic group because we become a threat. People watching be scared of us. And they'll find some way to destroy it, just like they did with the Civil Rights Movement, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They destroyed those men because they were bringing too much crowd, too many people to them. So we can't do that now. Y'all not letting us do that. We can't come together here in America. We'll get talking. And so that will be straightened out till we get up out of here. Come out there a little bit. Then we'll be on one side. As a matter of fact, not only we have one doctor, we'll know what tribe we belong to. We don't even know what tribe we belong to right now. Well, we got to be in a position, and we'll mention in Joel chapter 2, where we have to stand on the porch of the temple, inquire to Yahweh, say, help us, Yahweh. Why should the heathen say, where is your God? So that something got to be built by the time we get out of that wilderness. They're on the way to build it now. Yes, it's all place. It's just an amazing thing to see. Especially when you read of it, we mentioned yesterday, Jeremiah 51, where ruler will be against ruler. You got these sanctuary cities, sanctuary states going against Trump. So yeah, and plus Trump want to put police in all the dangerous cities that black people are living in. So that's where you're crime. So that's gonna cause problems because they're gonna say, well, that's racist. But y'all commit the crime. How can that be racist? And they're not gonna like that. So that'll bring to pass Jeremiah chapter 50, 51. Now we already got men in here like caterpillars. That's already been revealed. Now they talk about deporting about 1,500 people a week. You got 10 million people in this bad boy that don't belong. Then you got the states, governors, and mayors protected. Yeah. That mayor in Baltimore, they may have to arrest her. She's aiding in the bed. She won't help ICE get those people out of there. So they won't hang on to those illegal immigrants, but they're breaking the law. So something got to go down.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna get to that point to where, especially if we get into a hot war, where he can um, totally declare martial law and over the whole United States and take full authority like he's doing in D.C. Yeah, I think it's gonna get to that point because there's too many, like you said, of those mayors and judges. When he send them, they coming back
Yeah.
and they protecting them. So I think he's gonna get to that point to where he's just gonna have to just supersede all their authority and just
Yeah. It's been done before with Abraham Lincoln.
yeah, sure did. I seen that this week. They were talking about
Martial law.
Yeah.
He suspended habeas corpus.
Yep, and took full
Yeah.
authority of the country.
Yeah. But you have people locked up that never see the day of light of day. For little or no reason. That's martial law.
They say,
Suspend habeas corpus.
yeah,
Martial law.
they say Trump ruling like a king. He is a king.
Well, yeah, but he's a temp.
I know.
But he's just unorthodox in how he goes about taking care of business. He takes care of business, but they don't want him to take care of business. They don't want him to get credit for nothing. They already got folks around the world want to give him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
See, because he's keeping wars down, but he's doing it his way. He's not in the pocket of the billionaires. Nobody can buy it like they did with Obama and buy it. Can't nobody buy Trump.
He's cutting into their money.
Yeah.
He's cutting into their money.
Well, the thing of it is, he's a business. He believes in business first, and
Yeah.
his politician second.
Yeah,
That's what they had a problem with.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But he got enemies, and they want to make him look as bad as they can.
Oh yeah.
So you got media, you got the Democratic Party, and Jake leaving the Democratic Party. Have you heard this?
I heard about that.
Yeah. That I found that amazing. I thought you was always going to be plantation slave. So now you coming to your senses, seeing how wicked these Democrats are, lying to them. They got some of them Democrats starting to use racial terms against Jake now. So Jake finally realized, hey, y'all never been our friend. Y'all just want to stir stuff up, get us upset. Y'all heard about the brothers up in Brooklyn running off Antifa? Did y'all hear about this? Antifa came up to Brooklyn trying to start some stuff. The brother got together and said, "No, you gonna do that here?" Yeah, they ran Antifa off. So they see what's really going on. You can't play the game like they did before. They see it Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They got nothing to do with black people. So they just rich white kids uh, coming up to cause trouble with Jake because they know Jake is very emotional. But this time, said no, that ain't gonna work. Y'all get out of it. What you gonna say, man?
Yeah, I got a question. The timeline. We know that we got to leave America. So we go from leaving out of America, then we go into the wilderness, which is going to be 3.5 years, for 3.5 years. And then we go into the secret place. That secret place, that's from the wilderness into the secret place. How long is that?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Will we be in the secret place at the same time in the 3.5 years? Because it doesn't give you a timeline for the secret place, including in the wilderness experience.
Right.
So we don't know whether it be the first part of the 3.5 years or the last part of the 3.5 years, but it's all contained in that 3.5. There's no extra time.
So once that 3.5 years comes out, that's when we go into we head into Jerusalem.
Yeah. And that's what the saints take the king. So again, just like when our fathers came out of that 40-year wilderness experience ready to fight, because they saw how their father, our father against Moshe, they got killed off. So now when they're ready after 40 years, so the same thing gonna be with us. After 3.5 years of watching a bunch of black people being killed off by plague, yeah, we'll be ready. We're not gonna be the same people we were when in wilderness. We totally different. And that secret place might have something to do with, it may have to do with Zechariah chapter 13, where it's gonna take a third of us and purge all that stuff that's been on us that we learned from the heathen, all that's going to be purged out of us. So that would be that might be that secret place while everybody else being destroyed around us, be able to see it being destroyed, but it won't come near us.
Yes, Psalms. And
Like the Psalm.
Psalm 91.
Yeah, like Psalm, say Psalm 91, it talks about 10,000 at your right hand, at your left. Like
Right.
the secret place is kind of like in the midst of everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
So
they
you're
down
gonna see it.
on our left side and the right side. You know what I mean? Right.
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 Right. So yeah, that's what I refer to Psalm 91. So we see what's happening. Uh, but they're not gonna understand why they died. All of a sudden they're getting sick and die. It ain't gonna be no fast. It's not gonna be just like it was when my father came out the wilderness. I came into the wilderness. Y'all would go to plagues up, kill off a bunch of them. So the same thing's gonna happen again. Y'all gonna bring the plague on black people out there in the wilderness. They gonna die.
so once we take that kingdom, right, then that's when the battle's going, when Yahshua returns.
No, no. When you take the kingdom, that's when all the armies gonna come up, fight against us. Right. That's in Zechariah chapter 12, chapter 14. But the battle's gonna move from Jerusalem, according to Joel chapter 2. And y'all are gonna move that battle. Gonna move that battle to Armageddon, battle decision. Uh, so that's when Mashiach shows up.
And
When they go
Armageddon.
to Armageddon, that's when he shows up with all the hosts of heaven and the resurrected David and the 144,000.
Armageddon, that valley too, that also be called the Valley of Jehoshaphat as well.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That'll be Armageddon. It's called by a different name. Yeah. Armageddon just comes from Armageddon. So that they anglicized that name, just call it Armageddon. Yeah, nobody's picking up the name. It used to be called something else. But Megiddo was a place. Actually, it's in the land of Israel. So it's not going to be far from Jerusalem. I think it was about, it's in the land of Judah. I think it might in the land of Benjamin and Judah. I think it's about 600 miles away or 60 miles away.
I don't feel like 42 to 60 miles to the north.
Right. Right. So yeah, it's not gonna be that far. So with the battle taking place that close to the city, that means you got to cleanse that land before all the rest of the tribe be brought back. There's gonna be a lot of dead bodies. If the ground can't suck up all that blood, that's a lot of dead bodies. And then y'all gonna call all beasts of the field to come and eat these bodies because it's too many of them to bear.
So the Messiah is going to be here when we clean the land.
Yeah.
But the kingdom, the 1,000-year reign kingdom, doesn't start until all the tribes come back into it.
I would say so. When all the tribes are back.
That's when the 1,000 years.
Right. Everything's cleaned up and the shack finally sits on the throne. I believe that'll be the time for the countdown to 1,000 new stars.
But for those of us that are part of that cleaning process that's in Jerusalem, that's in the land, you know, we'll still be learning from the Messiah at that time during those years of cleaning up.
But we'll still be keeping the holy days.
Mm-hmm.
And while cleaning up the land.
He'll be with us, right? He'll be with us.
And that temple got to be built too.
Okay.
Right? Because we can't use the temple that Esau built. That's going to be destroyed. So in that timeline, we're going to be building the temple. And so that when Mashiach will have a place to be at, according to Ezekiel. We talk about that in the temple.
I'm saying, but he'll be with us at that time, though.
Yeah, and when you talk about the Sabbath day and the holy days, that's a teaching us, way of teaching us while we're in the kingdom. Right. So yeah, that'll be an absolute way of whatsoever. And consider who'll be there. It'll be the house of Judah. Right? And the house of David too. So yeah, we'll have front row seats. We'll get the first of what the Mashiach got to teach. And plus, keep in mind now, we got to be a kingdom of priests. Right? So everybody's got to be priests among the children of Israel. So how that can't happen to all the rest of the tribes come back. Right? So again, I'm looking at the fact that they're not all there, that the 1,000 years won't kick in to all the tribes come back. You can be a kingdom of priests. You can go out and minister to the rest of the nations.
But we'll get a jump start on those.
Yeah, yeah, me and Judah. Yeah, somehow Judah always special to y'all. That's where the Kings came out. That's where Mashiach came out of. So yeah, Judah, glory and honor to the Jew first. But yeah, that's Judah. Something special about Judah. Yeah, that it. Brother Stephen, start at the verse 8 again and just read to the end of that chapter.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found, and the bursting of it is sure to take fire from the heart, or to take water withal out of the pit. But thus saith the Adonai Elohim, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall you be saved, in quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, and you would not. But you said, no, for we will flee upon horses. Therefore shall you flee, and we will ride upon the swift. Therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. At the rebuke of 5 shall you flee, till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on an hill. And therefore will Yahweh wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahweh is an Elohim of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him.
Mm-hmm.
For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. Thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer thee. And though the Adonai give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not your teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk you in it when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left.
So Yahweh is revealing his teachers in America so that we'll have someone to teach us this word because no one has ever taught this word. White people didn't ever teach this word because we want to give them to teach. Yahweh is so powerful that he made them translate this book in their own language, but they cannot teach it. All they can get out of it is a religion. That he died for our sins, not on the law of the race. That's the religion of Christianity. So they don't have to do any study. I don't even know why they have church Bible study. Yeah, let's study the Bible. And I believe they even take up collection doing Bible study too.
Oh, yeah. I went to church
They do.
today.
Christians don't get enough. So yeah, this is talking about our time now, because y'all was showing us our teachers. And when you look at verse 21, it says, thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way. Walk you in it, and when you turn to the right hand, when you turn to the left, with that your ears will hear what the Spirit is telling you. So go in this direction. That's the Spirit talk, right? So you learn about the Spirit through your teachers. So that because you always say, something told me to do that. Something told me to do this. right? Well, that's something with the spirit. So you learn from that. With the spirit, like Mashiach said, you don't know where it comes or where it goes. Uh, Now when I'm teaching what the spirit gives me to teach. Because sometimes, like for instance, last couple weeks ago, I was trying to write down the BTS, and I couldn't come up with nothing. Spirit wouldn't give me that. But then, an hour before I was supposed to be up there, BTS, the Spirit gave me something. So I'm sitting out there writing. Girl out there waiting on me to give her some money. So y'all told her, he busy right now.
Mhm.
Right? So I'm busy right because that's when the Spirit moves, because I can't tell the Spirit bring me something. I have to wait and see what it gives me. And he gave me something at the last minute. So that hurt to sit down and write that thing out. I find that amazing because you don't know what the Spirit going when the Spirit gonna give you something. Because sometimes I be sitting there, I can't think of nothing. All week long. I can't think of nothing. And all of a sudden, boom, we're saying do this. That's what gift that I do. What the Spirit tell me to do. Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, let that you read the rest of the way.
You want to read, man?
Yeah, we'll read.
It's up to you, Bill.
Okay.
But I know I don't sound right.
All right.
Be good read.
Go ahead and pick up verse 22.
You shall defile also the covering of thy graven images of silver, and the ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a mistress cloth. Thou shalt say unto it, Get thee hence.
Mhm.
Then shall he give the rain of the seed, that thou shalt sow the ground withal, the bread of the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous. In that day shall the cattle feed in large pastures.
So you see, this referring to the kingdom of heaven.
Mhm.
All things that have been taken away from us will be given back to us. Just like it says in Deuteronomy chapter 30, you're going to do better than they did our fathers. So we're going to, what this is referring to is a farm life.
Mhm.
It says, verse 23, then shall he give the rain of thy seed, that thou shalt sow the ground withal, and the bread of the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous. In that day shall thy cattle feed in large pastures. How many black people have cattle in America? And they don't got cattle. You can't afford it. You can't even afford a hamburger no more.
Do
Oh,
you think when we leave,
that's
like,
cutting off.
maybe not American cattle because they all messed up, all these hormone stuff, but like different islands and like South America, you think we might take some of that cattle across the waters with us, and we just get there when we get over it?
I think they're
Some of the boats are big, they can carry cattle with them
yeah,
across the water.
they won't allow cattle in their countries. In certain parts of Europe, I think Great Britain's going up. But in our case, um, what can we bring out of America to fit where we're going? Now, granted, we don't have any cattle at all right now, so that when we get there, what's going to happen is that we're going to end up with cattle or something, right? So these cattle would be nothing would be different from cattle here in America. So these are hormone-fed cattle, and you eat chemicals that they eat out of the grass.
Even the sheep and the goats.
Yes, sheep and goats, man.
What about like the ones that down in South America, Central America, and the you know what I mean?
Now, you have to look at the way other countries raise their livestock,
Right.
and they don't have what America has. They got all these biologists and scientists that trying to figure out how to make the animal grow bigger and fat. I don't think they have that in those third world countries. I think there's a country, I think it's Argentina, that's famous for having
Oh yeah,
beef,
Argentina get
good meat.
good beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at that situation. Uh, those would be the kind of cattle that we have. We'll be having. And keep in mind now, being that it's going to be coming from you, and you're going to be doing business with your cattle and with your sheep. But because of who you are, your cattle will be more expensive than anybody else's cattle because they know where the cattle come from. So they know they're getting the best cattle, best sheep because of our law that tells us how to treat the animals. So yeah, your meat is going to be very expensive. And go ahead, y'all.
Where we at? Isaiah chapter 30,
24.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 24. Thank you. The oxen likewise, and the young asses that ear the ground shall eat clean provider, which has been winnowed with the shovel and with the fan.
So there won't be anything mechanized there with it. Okay, now when we're talking about when winnow, that means you taking a pitchfork and tossing that wheat up in the air, separate the chaff from the wheat. Right, so that's what they're talking about being winnow. So again, it's going to be a slower life than we have here in America, because this is a fast life that's not going to be conducive to the kingdom of heaven. As a matter of fact, we just read yesterday that the man returned back to the Garden of Eden, Ezekiel. And so talk about the Garden of Eden like that, then you remember what the Garden of Eden looked like. It's composed of with animals that were actually herbivores. So when you read up in, for instance, Isaiah 11, it says the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, right? And the lion shall dwell with the sheep. I'm paraphrasing, but there won't be any carnivores on the earth when the kingdom of heaven is set up. That'll be something different too. Yeah. You're gonna see lions actually eating grass. You might even have a bull pit. Bring a big male lion down to your house, Chicho. Yes.
I think some of them, don't some of them in Dubai, don't they have?
Dubai.
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah, they have
They have
those
those.
exotic animals like lions.
Yeah, they be
Yeah,
having them as pets,
yeah, cheetahs and all that, living with the people.
living with.
George Foreman had
Hmm?
George Foreman.
George Foreman.
Yeah,
What?
ranch. It's ranch in Texas.
He did what?
It's ranch in Texas. He used to have lions and tigers and all
I
that.
know that. I know Mike Tyson had a time.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd rather wait till tequila to set up than have the bad boys live around me, man.
Right, for sure.
Huh?
They're not gonna lose any weight. Look at the elephant.
Mm.
Well.
Yeah.
Talking about your own king. She wrong, ain't she?
She got a point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not gonna go there. I stay on that all day.
Don't.
I know. Spirit telling me don't do that.
That's what's just right there.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Don't go
Right
through that
there.
door. She opened that door up. Don't go through it. It's a setup.
Please don't.
Good ahead.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 25. And there shall be upon every high mountain and upon every high hill rivers and streams of water in the day of the great slaughter, when the towers fall. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of the 7 days. In that day Yahweh bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wounds.
It's interesting the way that's been put in verse 26. It says, moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun. And the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, which will be very, very hot, as the light of 7 days. In the day that Yahweh bindeth up the breach of his people and healeth the stroke of their wounds. So we know that he cauterizes a wound. Right. So that is what it's referring to, that to show you that we will be healed from the breach that Yahweh put upon us. So much so that it'd be like the moon being like the sun being like that 7 days. That's all that heat. It's on that breach, so you'll be healed from it. Yeah.
My Bible is referencing Revelation 16:8.
16 and 8.
Yeah, 16:8, Revelation.
Look, that's a vial being pulled out.
Right. It's talking about, it says the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire.
That is a right. It's not for our benefit, right? Because what they're saying is that this is part of what's going to come upon that one world order. in verse 16, right before the vow blown up and trumpet blown, fire poured out. Well, that's the destruction of that one lost. But with this here, it's more symbolism than actuality. I'm dealing with Revelation 16. It's more symbolism to show you the sincerity of the healing of our people. Right. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 27. Behold, the name of Yahweh cometh from far, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and the tongue as a devouring fire, and his breath as an overflowing stream shall reach the midst of his neck, to sift the nations with the sieve of vanity, and there shall be a bridle of the jaws of the people, causing them to err.
Now look at that in verse 28. It says, and his breath as an overflowing stream shall reach to the midst of the neck, to sift the nations with the seed of vanity, and there shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err. Everything is of Yahweh. Yahweh got to play already set up. So they got to follow. So they got to follow through with what's written down in the book. They can't help it. Just like when Russia comes up to in Ezekiel 38 to attack us, well, Yahweh put a hook in their jaws, bring them down to be destroyed. So they can't help themselves. They got to follow through what it's just talking about. Yahweh orchestrating all of it. That's what's so beautiful about the word. He let us know, yeah, I'm responsible for all this. The battle that you're gonna be fighting, I'm the one set those battles up. And I'm the one that's gonna win those battles for you. And so it begs the question, what do you have to do with anything? Do you ever think of something on your own? No. You have to throw up your hand. Because you come to the realization that Yahweh's in control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the nation don't know it, but Yahweh letting you know it, that I'm doing these to this nation. Why? So I can get the glory. Yeah. You ain't doing nothing. I'm getting this glory. I'm letting you know ahead of time this is what I'm going to do. I got it wrote down. And all kinds of things. So you ain't got no excuse for not seeing this. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 29. You shall have a song as in the night when a holy solemnity solemnity is kept, and gladness of heart, as when one goeth with a pipe to come out the mountain, come unto the mountain of Yahweh, to the mighty one of Israel. And Yahweh shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and shall soothe the lightning down of his arm with the indignation of his anger, and with the flame of a firing, and with the flame of a devouring fire, with scattering and tempest and hailstones.
This goes without saying who this arm is, right? You understand who this is talking about? It's talking about Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 31. For through the voice of Yahweh shall the Assyrian be beaten down, which smote with the rod, and in every place where the grounded staff shall pass, which Yahweh shall lay upon him, it shall be with tabrets and harps, and in the battles of shaking will he fight with it. For Tophet is ordained of old, yea, for the king it is prepared. He hath made it deep and large, the pile thereof is fire and much wood. The breath of Yahweh like a stream of brimstone doeth kindle it.
Now you look at verse 31. It says, but through the voice of Yahweh shall the Assyrian be beat down, which smoke with the rod. Well, we know what happened with the Assyrian. They took the children of Israel and all the kingdom out of the land, right? And they had such a great slaughter that they refused to even let them bury the dead. You can find that out in the Apocrypha. I think it's Tobit. Yeah. So they were honored, but when the Babylonians came along, they destroyed the Assyrian Empire. So this has already happened. But he's still talking about the Assyrians, but what they did to the northern kingdom. So they says, but through the voice of Yahweh shall the Assyrian be beaten down, the smoke with rod. So we haven't heard from the Assyrians since. since the Babylonian Empire. So that's already been taken care of.
So the Syrians is not around to this day.
No,
Because I thought they were.
Assyria, Nineveh is part of Iraq.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that mission, like I said, the Syrians are all gone. But they were Gentiles,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's already happened. But again, it was written up in heaven. You gotta remember, there's no timeline in heaven. So Yahweh said, I'm going to do this to the Assyrians. Then by the time we read that, we realize that's already been done. There are no more Assyrians around. These people call themselves Assyrians. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Right? But whoever these people are, they're the ones that was calling Israel their prophets. So they're not causing us problems now. And Israel is scattered throughout all the nations. So how can the Assyrians cause problems for the children of Israel? So this is had already happened. Okay. Under the Babylonian.
Chapter 31.
No, chapter 32.
32. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be, and a man shall, let me start over. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And in the eyes of them that shall see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the cruel said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hunger, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churls are evil. His devious, he devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words. Even the needy speaketh right. But the liberal devises liberal things, and the liberal things shall stand. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, you women that are at ease. Be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and a gird sackcloth upon your loins.
Now, again, this is symbolism. It's not actually talking about women. It's talking about his own people. All right. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 32, verse 12. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars. Yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous cities. Because the places shall be forsaken, before the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the cities shall be left, the forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks, until the Spirit be poured out upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest.
Now, this is jump from one age to another. In verse 14, it says, because the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left, the forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks, until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest. So now it's talking about our time. It's talking about the wilderness spirit. Go up in Isaiah 35, you see where the wilderness gonna blossom and bud. Just cause we're there. Right? So it says here, until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a fire. And then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the fruitful field. That judgment will be the 2/3 gonna be purged out through that wilderness. That'll be the judgment. That again, it says, then the judgment shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the fruitful field. That'll be that room, that third that comes out of that wilderness. It says, and the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness, and assurance forever. So again, that is referring to our experience in the wilderness when the time for us going that wilderness.
So this spirit that's being poured out in verse 15, that's not the same spirit that's being poured out in the kingdom of Elohim. That's a different spirit.
The kingdom of Elohim?
Yeah.
No, it's not the same
That's
spirit.
not the same spirit.
Because when you're out there in that wilderness, the spirit with our father, when he went into the wilderness, they had the angels out there with him. So the same thing's gonna happen this time. We're gonna have an angel out there, but that spirit gonna be poured out upon us that actually keep the law. So we'll be keeping that law while we're in the wilderness. We're obligated to keep it even then.
So while we're in the wilderness, the land is turning back into the garden even then.
Well, when we're in the wilderness, yeah, it's gonna blossom and bud, like because we're there. Compared to what he's doing in Isaiah 55, comparing our experience with our father's experience, when they didn't have anyone, they didn't have anything, no meat, they didn't have nothing. They complained and murmured all through that wilderness experience. Isaiah 55, you ain't gonna have a reason to complain. You have a reason to murmur because you're not gonna have anybody to murmur to.
Well, let's should have gotten the cell phones on TV. Go through that use cell phone TV. That's why I see people die. I see a lot of them die because they ain't got no cell phones on TV. And they complain, we gotta sit here 3.5 years, 3.5 years, gotta be out here. You just got those go like a year now. Why we gotta sit here for 3.5 years for? I would say crazy.
Yeah, don't expect to have any technology out there.
Right.
So they'll leave that stuff here, and because they can call partner up. Say, where you at, man? So you tell people where you at. I'm in the secret place. Come on over. So you know how your folk are, man. You gotta love them, man. They ain't like nobody else on earth. You never have been. So never dull moment with Yahweh's people. And you just gotta stay out of their way. So go ahead, man. Pick it up at verse 18.
18. I was going to ask you that. Okay. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 18. And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation and in sure dwellings and in quiet resting places and in quiet resting places when it shall hail coming down on the forest and a city shall be low in a low place. Blessed are ye that sow beside all waters, that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass.
In verse 19, verse 18 and 19, it says, my people shall dwell in a peaceful habitation, in the sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places. When it shall hail coming down from the forest, and the city shall be low in a low place. I don't recall seeing anything about a city in the wilderness. So I looked that word up, and that actually means encampment. That word city. So we would have encampments out there, but not a city, because it seems strange that you would have a city in the wilderness. Talk about an encampment. So we got to get that straight. So blessed are you that sow beside all waters, that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass. That'll be when you get back to them and everything settled down, and you have your own farms. So what we're gonna have is more than what our father got. We know that animals need water, but they also need space. So when you get your home, you're gonna have a lot of farmland. And you got a lot of farmland, that means you gotta have some servants. They have to tend the land. And you're married, you're gonna have handmaids attend to your wife. And so it'll be like it was back in the day, because we don't know what it's like to have a servant for us. We've been the servants. Now we're gonna have servants. Servants. But we're gonna be nicer, nice bosses.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna be like our white folks where they treated us. It's not gonna be like that. You know, that's a terrible thing, a terrible way to treat people, to dehumanize. And that's what they did with our father. Yeah.
Do we pay the servants?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not paid, but you take care of them because they're gonna be living on your property. You have a servant quarters, right? And so they would have their portion. Now you remember when
We
our
have to give them food, like give like extra food and stuff. We have to let them extra food and stuff. We just don't necessarily think. We give them like, okay, here go a goat sheep for y'all to eat, whatever, and get some vegetables with y'all work.
well, yeah, we
Y'all
get
work.
paid first. Yeah, because you're the head, you're the master.
Mm.
Uh, and then the servants, once we get through, then the servants can eat too. It's an order thing. So y'all don't know because you haven't been serving all your life. So you don't know how this thing works. So you gotta be trained how to be masters. Something I gotta train you how to be masters. See, our father already knew. So they had servants even when they was in Egypt. But they also had their own houses. And they had their own cattle and sheep. Right. So it's not like nothing they weren't used to. We ain't used to none of that. So you gotta get used to that. And you got 1,000 years to do it.
So when our people wasn't before that next Pharaoh came and put that hard bondage on our people, how was the children of Israel living just like the Egyptians side by side?
Yeah.
No problems, no beef, no nothing.
Well, we don't know that. All we know is when Moshe shows up, they're out there fighting already. So
Okay.
see what kind of people we are. Fighting amongst each other. We still slaves. We're slaves fighting against slaves. For what? Well, it's the same thing here.
When it said like in Proverbs, the poor oppress the poor, something like paraphrasing.
Yeah. So again, what we see black people doing, they got it honest. So when Yahweh introduced the children of Israel to us, he introduced Moshe, we introduced the children of Israel to us, and we see that they fought amongst themselves. But what's interesting, you don't hear them fight amongst themselves when they're in the wilderness. They all of them pissed off at Moshe, so they have time to be fighting among themselves. But no matter how many times Yahweh would plead with the children of Israel, they still murmured against Moshe. That is Yahweh's servant. You don't murmur against him. He chose Moshe. So if you got a problem with Moshe, that means you got a problem with Yahweh. So Moshe ain't did nothing about it. He just followed his instructions. Yahweh tell him go here, he go there. But the people couldn't see Yahweh, but they saw Moshe. It ain't gonna be like that this time. So who you gonna blame? We'll see. They're gonna blame somebody.
Find somebody.
Yeah, 'cause ain't gonna be no fried chicken out there, man. You know, that's war. They're gonna find them a chicken somewhere.
Or no fried fish.
No fried fish, yeah.
You said that's war.
Yeah, well, man, Jay cannot exist without chicken once a week at least.
What were they fighting on the ship for?
Oh, chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? On the Carnival Cruise Line, they fight over chicken tenders.
Damn.
Security refused to go. They turn around. How do you blame it? When you fighting over chicken tenders, you don't want to get in that fight. You don't want to break that up. Just let them wear themselves out, then go back to their room. But Carnival Cruise just gonna have to put a sign saying no Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no Negroes whatsoever. Please turn around, go to another ship. We don't want you here. If you don't know how to act. Go ahead, man.
Verse 33.
Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled,
Was not.
and was not spoiled,
Mhm.
and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee.
Mm-hmm.
When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Mm-hmm.
O Yahweh, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. At the noise of the tumult, The people fled, and no, at the lifting of thyself, the nations were scattered. And your spoil shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar, as the running to and fro of locusts shall he run upon them. Yahweh is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath he hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Behold, their valiant ones shall cry without, the ambassadors of peace shall weep bitterly. The highways lie waste, the wayfaring man ceaseth. He hath broken the covenant, he hath despised the cities, he regardeth no man. The earth mourneth and languisheth. Lebanon is ashamed and hewed down. Sharon is like a wilderness, and Bashan and Carmel shake off their fruits. Now I will rise, saith Yahweh. Now I will be exalted. Now I will lift up myself. You shall conceive chaff. You shall break forth stubble. You shall bring forth stubble. Your breath as fire shall devour you, and the people shall be as the burning of lime. As thorns cut up shall they be burned in the fire. Hear, ye that are far off, what have I done? And ye that are near, acknowledge my might. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness has surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burnings? He waketh up righteously. He that walketh uprighteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hands from holding off bribes, that stoppeth the ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil, he shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks. Bread shall be given him, his waters shall be sure. Thy eyes shall be the king of his beauty. They shall behold the land that is very far off. Thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counteth the towers? Thou shalt see a fierce people. Thou shalt not see a fierce people, a people of deeper speech. Then thou canst perceive of a stammering tongue that thou canst not understand. Look upon Zion, the city of our solemnities. Thy eyes shall be Jerusalem, a quiet habitation, a tabernacle that shall not be taken down. Not one of the stakes thereof shall be removed, neither shall any of the cords thereof be broken. But the glorious Yahweh will be unto us a place of broad rivers and streams, wherein shall go no galley of oars, neither shall gallant ships pass thereby. For Yahweh is our judge, Yahweh is our lawgiver, Yahweh is our king, he will save us. Thy tacklings are loosed, they shall not well strengthen their mast, they could not spread the sail. Then is the prey of a great spoil divided, the lame take the prey, and the inhabitant shall not say, I am sick. The people that dwell therein shall not be forgiven their iniquity.
Shall be forgiven.
Shall be, let me read that again. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 24. And the inhabitant shall not say, I am sick. The people that dwell therein shall be forgiven their iniquity.
So you know what that's referring to, right? When Mashiach sets up his kingdom, and only the righteous gonna be there. Yeah.
Verse 1, is that us spoiling them? But that's from the beginning when they start spoiling us.
It says, woe to thee that spoileth, and thou was not spoiled, and dealeth treacherously, and they that dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, then thou shalt be spoiled. When thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. He's talking about that is a covering statement for all ages. Even back in these days, we dealt treacherously with people. Eventually, somebody will deal treacherously with you. So that goes for these days too. So we got to be careful how we deal with people. because it's gonna come back on us, right? But that puts me in the mind of what we read in Ecclesiastes about the wicked, because sinners are not pronounced against the wicked. He referred others to be wicked leader,
Yeah.
right? So eventually he's got to ask for that. So either he's gonna ask for it while he's alive, or ask for it in judgment. Yeah. I think we get to chapter 34. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it.
Now you hear what they're saying here? Now the Quran is not written like that. It says, "Come near, you nations." So he's talking to everybody. To hear and hearken, you people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that are come forth of it. So he's talking to everybody, but it's coming through our people. So they addressing the whole world. You don't hear any other book said, "I want everybody to see this. I want everybody to hear this." No other book is written like that. So Yahweh, through his people, is talking to the whole world. All right. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 34, verse 2. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
Listen, he's talking in past tense about something that has not happened yet.
Right.
It's already done. So when talking about in verse 2, for the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations. So we're looking at the end time scenario. And it's fury upon all their armies coming up to Jerusalem. He shall utterly destroy them. He shall deliver. He had delivered them to the slaughter. He already destroyed. That's why the battle got to move to Armageddon. Right. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 34, verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of all their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all the hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Now, I thought that might have had something to do with Revelation chapter 6, in the sixth seal, when the clouds turn against each other, roll together. But it's not the same thing. In that particular scenario in Revelation chapter 6, that's Satan being cast out of heaven. But this here is talking about another event after Satan getting kicked out of heaven, because at the time that Satan gets kicked out of heaven, we should be on those boats.
Mm-hmm.
America should be destroyed. We should be on those boats heading out of there. That's why I read up in Revelation chapter 12. They take the dragon spew water out of his mouth to destroy those boats, but the earth's going to open up and swallow that water. But again, this is not talking about the same thing. Yeah.
Can water sometimes mean people? When
And water do what?
like in Revelation, this is about me. In Revelation 12, could that flood, that water be necessary people that's coming after us? Maybe. Sometimes water is people like Revelation, where it talks about the woman that sits on the beast, and blasphemy with those water.
But at what point would that happen if that represents people? Because we're actually going to be on boats, right? So would that flood be after we get off the boats? While we're on the boats?
They might have boats coming after us. I mean, other boats, military boats or airplanes, all kinds of. I thought about everything like airplanes flying to come against air forces and military boats, all kind of things. You might stop it, or a hurricane and stop them, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not going to get our horse out there on boat,
Right.
because everybody can't get on those planes.
Right.
So they'll be trying to get out of here as fast as they can, any way that they can. But the fury of Satan and the dragon will be against us. So I believe our boat will be the only one going to Africa. The rest of us going to Europe, other places. So that screwing out of that flood in Revelation 12 is particularly pointed at us. because of who we are. So, which means that if he's that angry with us, because he knows he's been kicked out of heaven for the last time, if he's angry with Yahweh, he's going to try to destroy Yahweh's people. That's our adversary. That is our enemy, is Satan. So Satan can point at you, say, see what your people do? Look at what they're doing now. So how can you love these people? And they act like this. So you look at our fathers when they were out there in that wilderness. They had them gods on. That's why they couldn't get along with Moshe, because Moshe was one-on-one with Yahweh. But they didn't see that. They didn't see Yahweh. They saw Moshe. So they're going to act up. But with us, that purging won't happen until we all get in the wilderness, because we're going to be black people going to bring Satan with them, and y'all ain't going to have that. Yeah, you got to mature. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 34, verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Udemia and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Udemia. And the wild oxes shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be of soaked, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made with their fatness, made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses, for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall be burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. For from generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever.
So we're talking about Esau's land, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the lake of fire will start. So we see how close Esau's land is to our land, right across the river. So we'll be able to see what's going on in that lake of fire. That beast of the false prophet calling that. We'll be able to see them from our land.
So that judgment of blood, that's gonna be the Messiah and us destroying Esau land.
What that now?
With that judgment of blood, that's gonna be the
What,
Messiah.
what verse?
Verse 6
Verse 6
and verse 5 and 6 actually.
and verse 8. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of ram. For Yahweh have a sacrifice of Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea,
Like
right?
Bob's gonna be Messiah, but the rest of the group, that's gonna be us.
Basra, it's capital, but once the capital of Edom.
I'm saying, but like the Messiah, I think it's in Ezekiel when the Messiah comes and
Oh, you're talking about in Isaiah, what, 63?
the Messiah, he gonna destroy the body.
Yeah, he got to make that stop there
Right,
first.
but we gonna destroy the rest of the demon, right?
Yeah, when he makes that stop, then he's gonna come out the sky with the rest of the host of heaven. But yeah, the blood, his garment got the stain with blood, and that's what this is referring to. So Yahweh got a problem with Esau. Right? Jacob I love, Esau I hate.
But in verse 5, some of our people going to be destroyed with Esau?
It said, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon the Idumea and upon the people of my curse. Yeah, that some of us. Yeah. We got some of us already in the land now. Right? Daniel. Yeah. Is it, but I, what's his name?
Hananiah.
Hananiah, he still there?
You know, I ain't heard about him in a long time.
I haven't either.
I assume he's still over there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They haven't tried to talk. Do not go over that now. It's not the time to go. But he went in. Go ahead, man.
Isaiah chapter 34, verse 11. But the cormorant and the bitter shall possess it, The owl, also the raven, shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons and a court for owls. The wild beast of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, everyone with her mate. Seek
All
you,
these are unclean birds.
Mhm.
Go ahead, man.
Seek you out the book of Yahweh and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for the mouth of it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he hath cast the lot for them, and his hands hath divided it by them by line. They shall possess it forever, from generation to generation shall they dwell therein.
All right. I'm going to stop right here.
Appreciate
Open the
that.
floor for questions. Does anyone have any questions before we dismiss?
It's more like
That's all I can.
like, just reading this, it's like, when the
All
end
is
we win.
concerns.
We got it, end game, we win, come out victorious. You just have to have faith in the process. With the process, you make you feel on one hand, you have to be kind of humble because you have to have faith in the process. But on the other hand, it's feel like you're just undefeatable. Like you can't be defeated. You can't nothing go wrong. You can't be defeated. You can't be wrong. We can't there's nothing we're pretty much unstoppable in a way, but you still have to be humble because that faith in the process. You don't know how it's gonna go till it ends. You win, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's just what I see to read this chapter. In the end, we come out on top in the best victorious, but we just have to be humble and have faith in that process. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the problems our fathers had. They knew who they were, but they made them proud people.
Kind of arrogant.
Yeah, arrogant. Yeah, haughty. Yeah. You're supposed to be a servant. Servant never supposed to be proud and arrogant. And so that's what they missed. I mean, they were glad to be the chosen people, but they got a big head about it. So we learned from that. So we know we're the chosen people, but we got to keep that thing on the low level. We cannot walk around with the chest poked out. I'm a Jew. I'm an Israelite. Look at my friends. Isn't that what the scribes and Pharisees were doing in Matthew 23? They wanted people to recognize them, rabbi, right? So we can't be, Moshe said, don't y'all be like them people, right? So we got to learn from that, you ain't going to have that in the kingdom to come. That pride and arrogance. Yeah, it's good to be the chosen people. It's good to receive all those blessings that the chosen people don't receive. But we can't let it go to our head like it did our fathers. We blinded them. It even blinded them to recognize the Mashiach when they saw it. They were jealous. And so they were proud of themselves having knowledge of the law and the prophets. And that they were in cahoots with Roman Empire because the Roman Empire put the priest in office. But we can't be like them. Right? We don't know our stuff. We don't know the law. We don't know the prophet. We don't know a whole lot of stuff. And you're going to be teachers, right? So being teachers, being Melchizedek priesthood, I imagine that would be part of your duties is to teach the rest of the nation the law, just like the high priest going to teach us the law. Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay. Let's look at what's on chat.
You let me know what you want to do with this reel, okay?
What?
Let me know what you want to do with this Rio guy. He on YouTube.
What is it? Acting food?
I ain't having food. We ask a question.
You know, sometimes you have to borrow for. Okay, I got Elder Tobiah on Facebook at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, Shalom Elder Tobiah. Shalom Bishop Judah. Shalom Brother Alahayim and Yasharala and Sister Malaka. Shalom Brother Alahayim and Yasharala. Shalom Brother Eliyahu ben Israel. Uh, Shalom Hanat ben Israel. We got to be embarrassing to that. Shalom Brother Abraham. Shalom Brother Yeshua. Shalom El Hiram. I hope you're feeling better. He wants to say Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. I mean, what about it? I think I mentioned that earlier about fulfilling the curses in Deuteronomy 28. I imagine that's what it's referring to. Shalom, Brother Kevin Birch. Shalom, Brother Clarence Marks and Sister Yolita. Shalom, Melinda Curry. Shalom, Humble Rollers. Shalom, Gregory Rucker. Shalom, Monique Glover. Shalom, Susie Garman. Shalom, Julius Brown. Shalom, Shamayan Yasharala Elder. Shalom, Lonely Redwood. Shalom, Saul Ben Israel. Shalom, Brother Mickey Anderson. Shalom, Sister Monty M. Shelton. Shalom, Esher Yasharala. Shalom, Brother Hodiah Ben Israel. Shalom, Brother Malachi. Shalom, Brother Yaakov Ben Israel. Oh, okay, that's that's Yaakov up in I think it's in Michigan. Shalom, Brother Malachi. Maybe they did not know how to read, just not English, you think? You think? What was I talking about? They didn't know how to read it. We didn't know how to read it. We're talking
We was
about
talking about the slaves, I think.
who?
I think we was talking about the slaves
The slaves.
taking on their.
Yeah, yeah. What else was there to read? I mean, English was the only game in town where they were. So if they could read something else, what was the book that they could read it out of? Shalom, Kimberly Israel. Shalom, Sister Malaka. Um, uh, says, hope Elder Stephen is feeling much better real soon. Deacon E-Man is a very good reader. Praise Yah. Shalom, Sister Malaka, Manam Yasharala. Shalom, Sister Rachel by Israel. Shalom, Sister Malaka. Shalom, Elder Priest. And family, hope Elder Stephen feels much better real soon.
Praise
Deacon
God.
E-Man is a good reader. Great Shabbat service yesterday. Miss all of you so much. Praise Yahweh, day we miss you too. Shalom on the Redwood. Shalom, Sister Malaka again. Elder Stephen need to drink organic throat coat tea. It's in the grocery store. You ever heard that?
Mm-mm.
Never heard of it.
Say that again.
Organic throat coat tea. That's organic throat, THROAT, coat, COAT, tea.
We saw that.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, we saw that post.
Yeah, I figured y'all have something like that in public. Organic throat.
Yeah, organic throat
Coat. Tea.
coat, COAT,
Coat
Tea.
throat.
TEA.
Coating your throat.
You
Go straight to
pulling
the
it up?
section.
You pull it up? Oh,
It's on.
okay.
Might get lucky, might be BOGO this week. But I want to get one free.
Okay, we're gonna try that out. Sister Malaka. Shalom, Shalom Ben Israel. Shalom, different mindset too. Shalom, Elder Mick. I hope you're doing better. I haven't seen you in a while. Shalom, Brother Mick Anderson. How does the idea of Pangea, the earth once being one landmass, connect with prophecy and the second Exodus. Well, there is no proof that the whole world one man matters.
Mm-mm.
Right? So this is theory more than actual fact. Uh, but when you look at the layout of the land, it does seem like Africa might have been part of America at one time. But there's no proof of that. But it doesn't have anything to do with the second Exodus. The second Exodus would be us leaving America going eastward toward the Western Africa. Same way we came here, the same way we're going to leave. So, yep, as far as the Pangea is concerned, they got something going on in Africa now that Africa is even splitting up.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Right? So they don't know what's going to come of that. It may have to do with us. We don't know. But they're just waiting to see because it's moving kind of fast. We're splitting of that continent. So we might have a new vote.
I seen yesterday night. I seen in Saudi Arabia they're building $1 trillion city.
Is that the one that's going to be on the ground, not up in the eye, up in the sky?
Something, yeah, it's like it's it's out in the desert and it's like a long thing and it's being up. It's I know it's $1 trillion they got.
Pocket change, man. That's all these.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
they got all the engineers from all over the world
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Paying big money.
Yeah,
Figure that thing out.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Do you think the splitting of Africa, when that water goes in, that ocean salt water goes in there and that right going through the ground or whatever, the rocks and the ground itself are filtering where it's not so salty and it be clean, fresh water for us in the wilderness? Think that's a process?
That's what you're asking will it affect us.
Right. Well, like when they able to bring fresh water to us out there in that wilderness, they think it's separate and cutting.
I don't know, man, because we don't know the timeline. They just started noticing that Africa was being split up 2 or 3 years ago, and so it had to stop moving. It had to stop being split up. So how's that going to affect our second exodus out of here? You got to remember, we just going to the west coast. And I think that split is going to be through South Africa, right? So we're going to be going that direction, but we don't know how far up after that split is going to be. It may reach up into Northern Africa. I don't know. They don't know. Well, Yahweh do it. If he changing the earth like that, that's coming from Yahweh, so there's got to be a purpose for it. Will we benefit from it or not? I don't know. Good question, though. Shalom, Yahweh, Shalom. Shalom, Brother Benaiah. Shalom, Rio. If the second temple was destroyed in 70 AD, then who is the Messiah? Well, the Messiah hasn't returned yet. All right. And that's got to be a third temple that they're planning on building now. They already got the altar burnt offering already built. They've already made they already have sacrificed that red heifer. For what reason, I don't know, but yeah, they've already sacrificed the red heifer. So a lot of things hadn't come to pass yet. The Messiah hasn't shown up yet. That temple got to be built first, and that second temple was not the temple. But this third temple will be the temple that'll be up when Messiah shows up. Now again, they're working on that now. Shalom to the goody. The fellow has Zephaniah 2 and 12 already happened. Let's see that where and you Ethiopians also, you shall be slain by my sword. No, that hadn't happened. You put that with Isaiah 45, and what you come out with basically the same thing, but look at what it says in Isaiah 45, talking about the same Ethiopians. In Isaiah 45, verse 14, It says, thus saith Yahweh, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabaeans, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains, they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee, they shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely Elohim is in thee, and there is none else, there is no God. So that would be actually during the kingdom period when the Mashiach sets up on his throne, that they're going to treat the Ethiopian like they're slaves. Now it says here, you got to remember, in this particular chapter, chapter 2, look at what it says here. In verse 1, it says, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired, before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahweh come upon you, before the day of Yahweh's anger come upon you. Seek you Yahweh, all you meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment, seek righteousness, seek meekness, and it may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yahweh's anger. But Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. He shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of Yahweh is against you. O Canaan, the land of the Philistines, I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds, and folds for flocks, and the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed them upon. In the houses of Ashkelon shall they lie down in the evening. Yahweh their Elohim shall visit them and turn away their captivity. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the writings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even the breeding of nettles and salt pits, and a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of Yahweh of hosts. Yahweh will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, everyone from his place, even all the owls of the heathen. You Ethiopians also, you shall be slain by my sword. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh a desolation and dry up like a wilderness. What he's referring to in this particular chapter, including chapter verse 12, is talking about the coming Babylonian Empire. So that when you see the children of Israel come out of the Babylonian captivity, you don't hear about the Philistines coming out with them. You don't hear about the Ethiopians. You hear about the Egyptians, the Amorites, and other people, but you don't hear about the Ethiopians coming out. So they kind of disappeared after the Babylonian Empire. We don't know when they came back into on the scene, but you don't hear anything about them during the Babylonian Empire as far as the Ethiopians are concerned. You hear about the Egyptians, but you don't hear about the Ethiopians because at that particular point, they probably destroyed the Ethiopians. That's probably what that's referring to. We're talking about the coming Babylonian Empire, that they're going to be destroying the Ethiopians also. Shalom, what's new? Z Maya. Is that real? Are you going to read up to Isaiah 53 and then Psalm 72? Not today. Shalom, Thomas J. Miller. Shalom, Brother Kemuel. Shalom, Brother Leah. The Messiah already came. You want to, yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Keep on reading. You got something at the bottom.
Yes, answer my question, please. Oh, is he joking? Is that what that is?
We say I'm being polite. I cut him off.
Okay. Uh, Shalom Roosevelt Petrie, Shalom Tamika Whittiers, Shalom Brother Malachi. I am here in Rosario, Mexico. I ran into some of them IURC brothers. They tried to drill me. I asked them one something about the second Exodus. They scattered. Yeah, they scatter like roaches. Okay. Uh, so imagine they don't talk about the second Exodus.
Well, you got people that do music from IUIC. They talking about we got to lead with, you know what I mean?
They got to leave.
That we leave in America, you know what I mean? That we leave them.
I thought they wanted to stay here and take over America.
It's not IUIC, it's other groups, but IUIC don't talk about taking over America.
Who talks about that? IUPK?
I think IUSPK and some other Hebrew groups for some of the rappers from IUIC talk about America will be destroyed and we leaving, but they don't go into how we, you know what I mean? They just don't they all speak about America being destroyed and that we have to leave, but they don't get into how in the process and none of that. You know
So they do know we got to leave.
they do know we gotta leave. They do tell America about to be destroyed.
All right, well, at least they got that.
Right.
Well, those are a lot of other groups you hear about.
Right.
You don't hear about anybody talking about leaving America.
But they don't go into details how or what and where we going
They don't go into the wilderness.
So it's what talk about.
Well, that's something. Here a little, that little. Yeah. Shalom, Brother Timmy Turner. Shalom, Mickey Anderson. Great job. Who wants to know? There are some camps that teach America would be the lake of fire. Is this true? Well, we just read in Isaiah 34 that Esau's land gonna be the lake of fire. America would be destroyed by then. So America won't even be part of the end time scenario. These Christians over here in America will never see the Messiah while America is still standing. If they see the Messiah at all, it'll be from the land that they came from. And most of it in Europe, so that they'll probably see it then if it be God's will. But what I know about white Christians, they've read the book, they know not to take the name, number, mark of the beast. Right? Well, black folk, if they go there with the white folk, they're gonna be desperate. They always been a desperate people. So the beast gonna say, well, we'll give you free apartment, free food. Say, not you're shaking my song. So they may take the name, number, mark of the beast, not knowing any better, because they're so busy going off to heaven. They don't even bother reading the book. So we just, and nothing you can do about that. They refuse to read, so Yahweh don't want them to read. So I don't know. I didn't know that some camps are teaching that America be the lake of fire. And America be totally destroyed. It's going to be destroyed by Sodom and Gomorrah, according to Isaiah chapter 13 and Jeremiah chapter 51. So yeah, that's how America will be destroyed. The Sodom and Gomorrah did not come to the lake of fire, so America will not become the lake of fire. They're going to be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah. Again, the actual location of the lake of fire will be in Esau's land. When you go up into Malachi chapter 1, you read where Yahweh have indignation with Esau forever. So he doesn't like Esau at all, like people that he hates. So it just makes more sense for the lake of fire to start in his land. Okay, Key says sure will. I don't know what it means by that. I don't have anything else after Key. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Facebook, YouTube. Give you 5 seconds to type in another questions before I shut it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, oh, that's Israel. Shalom, brother Israel. Praise y'all. And we got in under the wire. Let's go ahead. Thank you again, brother Israel. Thank you everybody for your comments. Oh man, here they come now. May Yah heal your infirmities in Romans 12, 1 and 2. Speak of being acceptable. Is this Is this the same acceptable request that was asked of Yahshua to Cain in Genesis 4:7? What makes you think that that was Yahshua? Yahshua hadn't been born yet. So you got that kind of backwards in Romans 12 and 12. 12 and 1 and 2, I mean. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercy of Elohim, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy acceptable unto Elohim, which is your reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Elohim. And he says in Romans 12, 1 and 2, to speak of being acceptable. Is this the same acceptable request that was asked of Yahshua to Cain? No, well, it was Yahweh, it wasn't Yahshua. Yahshua went back on the thing, but Yahweh is telling Cain, yeah, I don't want your sacrifice. You bring me vegetables, I'm looking for blood. So he said, you give stands at the door and bring me a sacrifice that's going to have blood in it. But Cain didn't understand that, but it wasn't Yahshua. Uh, yeah, in verse 7, yeah, it's talking about animal sacrifice. IUIC teach that we would go into the wilderness, okay, but they also say that we will be saved, but the chariots. That's what they teach. Okay, I can't tell them that they're wrong. That's what Yahweh gave them. So we can't see it. You know, chariots don't make sense in these days at times. So that means you got to get horses. You got to get chariot riders. People got to be trained how to ride a chariot. You just ain't gonna jump up in that bad boy.
You know, some camps call it chariots spaceships.
Oh, the
Some
spaceship.
camps, I don't know why I know some camps are spaceships and chariots. Like the
Yeah,
chariot came and got the prophet Elijah spaceship.
Elijah's a spaceship.
I mean the chariot that came and got him, spaceship.
Well, yeah, he went up. Elijah, he went up in a whirlwind. That was a spaceship. Now they look at the vision of Ezekiel, the wheel, the middle of a wheel. They look at that as a spaceship. Yeah, but ain't nothing about what they said about Elijah that resembles a spaceship. I mean, yes, a lot of symbolism of it, yeah, but now you're taking it too far. It's talking about those things that are hands-on things. They like some invention we have to wait for, like a spaceship. That ain't gonna happen. You gotta go according to what the book says. They got to be in that wilderness 3.5 years. That means there got to be a lot of purging. So you can't do no purging on the spaceship. So unless you let Jake take over the control room, they crash that bad boy. Appreciate that.
The whole Outcast album, 80 Aliens, you know what I mean? They had Moses coming back on the spaceships on that album. Remember? Long album cover. Moses coming back on the spaceship on 80 Aliens album. So, you know.
Yeah, no, I think that do obviously believe that, don't they?
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people, like, I think that what a lot of people kind of got that from the water, but you know, the spaceship. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave the spaceships alone. Ain't no spaceship gonna pick y'all up, because just like y'all act like on Carnival Cruise, y'all gonna act like that on the spaceship. They ain't no chicken tenders on the spaceship. Uh, I was in agreement with the take as it pertains to the USA. Who wants to know what? Yes, that's what they say by spaceships. Uh, yeah, but you don't see the spaceships in the Bible. Uh, so yeah, they may try to equate what they see in the Bible with modern day technology. The only thing that the Bible says about that would be equate to modern day technology would be all that war equipment that's coming up to Jerusalem. And that war equipment Because in battle, Armageddon, it's talking about chariots. Well, you're not going to have chariots. You're going to have military vehicles, high-tech military vehicles, maybe helicopters. But that would be the Battle of Armageddon. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't know about that. Who wants to know? Uh, that's what they say. That's what they believe. Yahweh gave them that. So I'm not going to try to talk them out of it. All right, then. Good last minute question. Appreciate that. Y'all got them in quick. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. It's time goes to go. Again, let's see here. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Join us for our history class this Thursday at 8 o'clock. Y'all willing to see each other then.